What is up, everybody? My name is Control for Days. Today I'm going to walk you through a modern league with the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth. This is what we do here on this channel. This is my deck of choice. This is my format of choice at this point, which I never thought I'd say because I was always a legacy player, but I am to the core a modern player at this point. So we are going to run with it. Let's go. We have a 75 that is it's been performing very well. This is a slight variation of my list version 9.1, which I took to a top 8 in a challenge last week, or at this point it will be a week and a half ago when this video goes live. But the only change I'm making to my list that I ran in the challenge is I'm adding a third Thoughtseize over a second Veil of Summer. Everything else is exactly the same. The main deck, we're running one Yawgmoth over a 6th fetch land, 3 birds, or shaving a bird and running a 4th Wall of Roots because I like running Prosperous Innkeeper in my lists. It's a card that has performed very well for me, and it's almost become like a mascot for me at this point. 2 Endurance, 3 Evos, 1 Hapatra instead of a Giralf's Messenger. We'll see if this hasn't come to hurt us yet, shaving the Messenger, but we'll see if that matters at some point. Sideboard, as I alluded to before, 3 Thoughtseize, 1 Go for the Throat, 1 Necromentia, 1 Sheoldred, which has been very nice up to this point, 3 Force of Acre, 2 Endurance, 1 Scavenging Ooze, the Veil of Summer, which I mentioned earlier, a Crime Punishment, and a Haywire Might. That is our 75. This is version 9.2, and we're going to run it through this league. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. We are jumping into our modern league. This is match 1. We are playing against InDemand, 0-0 record. We are on the play. Yawgmoth version 9.2, I think. Let's go. Opening 7. This hand is definitely slow, but I think on the play this is a keep. On the draw, I would ship this back, though. We're going to lead off with our Overgrown Tomb tapped, and then we will pass the turn. Pretty straightforward. Turn 2 will probably play out the Yawgmoth, and then lead into our Geist from there. Might not have that option. Opponent leads on a basic Swamp into a Grief. And you turn off auto yields here. Okay, stack their triggers correctly. And we're going to be left with just about nothing. Probably just an Evo. Let's see if they do this correctly here. Alright, they take the Endurance, as they should. And here is the Undying Malice. And our Geist is likely going bye-bye. Gotta love it. Gotta love playing against this deck. Alright, turn 2. Alright, we're in it. Drew the card we wanted. Alright, we're not blocking. I guess we could block a Ragavan, but I'm just gonna swing. I'm just gonna start getting some hits in. And hopefully we can Evo on our next turn and get ourselves a Yawg. We'll see if we have that opportunity. If they play out like a Dothy, that's their best draw against us. That's really tough to beat. Kind of invalidates our Evo. So we're on a super quick clock. They stripped our hand, and now we don't have access to our graveyard either. So between all of those things together, it's really tough to beat that. I'm going to attack, and then I am going to get myself a Yawgmoth still. This Evo is likely to get discarded, and I feel like we need to, in order to have a chance, we need to have a Yawgmoth in play. So we're going to make that trade. And now if they have a removal spell for Yawgmoth, we're going to be in pretty deep trouble. If they have something like a Blood Moon here too, they don't. Okay, good. They have 3 cards in hand. We're going down to 9 life. We essentially have 1 creature in play. So if we draw a 1-drop, we can get rid of both of the Voidwalkers. Let's see if we can do that. We do. Okay. So that was good. We're going to take 2 damage off these fetch lands, which kind of sucks, but you have to do what you have to do. So we're going to be going down to 3 life off the Grief. We're going to be going down to 1 life off the Grief. My bad. We're going to proliferate, discarding either Evo or Boseiju. I think we probably get rid of the Boseiju. We'll dump both of these guys. Alright, we're at 5. We're going to be down to 1. Now I'm going to attack because I can't block. So, once again, if they dash in a Ragadan, we'll just lose to that, but... Alright, down to 1 life. See if they have anything else. They don't. Do we stabilize at 1 life? It would be really nice to have an extra life so we could actually activate this Yawgmoth. Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury. We are going to double block with Yawg and Yawgmoth on this Grief. It feels to me like they might actually have another Undying spell. So I don't know if I actually want to do that. I think I'm actually going to do this. We'll save our Yawg for a turn here. And we can potentially make use of our Yawgmoth if we can get an Innkeeper in play. This is an interesting predicament. We have them on a 2-turn clock right now if we could actually attack. Unfortunately, we can't. I'm going to attack with my Yawg here. I'm going to try to clock him. This is really strange. We're stabilizing, sort of, at 1 life here. But if they have any removal spell, anything else, we're just going to lose. A burn spell. A game of inches, as they say. Alright, we have to double block. So we'll see if they have another Undying Malice or whatever. I believe they do. Yep, there it is. As expected. There goes our Evo. They have 3 cards in hand. Now if they have another creature, we're going to need an answer to it. Alright, and that's potentially multiple creatures. Discard an Archon, really? What are they doing over there? Alright, Grist potentially represents several creatures as well. 1, 2, we need a triple hit off the Grist. Can we get it? Grist triple hit. Let's go. No. Okay, we're dead. We saw them discard an Archon of Cruelty. That's really weird. Okay. Sideboarding. I'm going to board in Thoughtseizes, Veil of Summer, Ooze, Endurance, and Shieldred. And I'm going to be boarding out... I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to board out most of my Evos, most of my Chords. Definitely some number of birds. Yawgmoth on the play is medium. I need 1 more card. Basically, I just want good late game top decks. That's what I'm looking for. I think I'll get rid of another bird. No, I'll keep the bird and I'll get rid of 1 wall. I think that's fine. Or maybe the Innkeep? No, probably the wall. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Opening 7's a keep. Hope we don't get scammed. They kept their 7, okay. We're going to lead Marsh into bird and pass the turn. Hopefully they don't discard anything. Hopefully they don't discard multiple things and leave us with a bunch of dorks. Paying costs and Thoughtseize. So they're going to take the Grist here, I'd have to imagine. And there it is. And on my next turn, I'm going to be playing out my Ooze. I think... Okay, they were thinking about a Grief, I think. An Innkeeper. They're hesitating during my draw step. And they cast a Surgical Extraction. I feel like this card is just so bad right now. I don't understand why people are playing this card. And the other thing is, like, nobody knows how to use it. Alright, cool. Leave 1 in my graveyard, too. Alright, so that's food for the Ooze. Yeah, I'm going to play out the Ooze, and I'll pass the turn. I need to make sure I don't yield through the turn here, because I can eat this Grist with the Ooze. We'll see what they do. We're down to 15. 1, 2, Voidwalker, sure. We're going to yield into the end step, and then we're going to eat our Grist. Alright, and we'll untap. Alright, so if they have like a Fury, it's just going to beat what we're doing. If they don't, I think we're in decent shape. So I can play out Ignoble, swing for 5. Or I could play out like Prosperous Ignoble, swing for 4. Maybe that's the better line. Little better use of our mana. I guess that does change the clock though, unless they put another creature in the graveyard, so maybe that was the wrong move. Well, I guess it doesn't really, because we have the Innkeeper as an attacker too. Never mind, I don't know what I'm saying. It does change the clock, so it was probably the wrong move. I should have played out the Ignoble. All right, 11 to 22. We've doubled their life total for now. But once again, we do need to dodge Fury. Take a hit for 3, we'll go down to 19 and move back to our turn. Not sure what they're doing over there. All right, Cord was a good draw. And I think... so I can just Cord outright for a Yawgmoth right now, which is good, but I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. Or I can keep pressuring their life total, and I think that might... So if I play out like the Hierarch, swing for 5, they're dead next turn if they can't do anything. This is a tricky point in the game here. Tricky. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the aggressive line here. Swing for 5. Alright, looks like they have a removal spell. So I am getting punished a little bit for this. A Lightning Axe. What are they doing? Oh my gosh. This person's a maniac. Okay. I don't really care about the cards in their graveyard. That's why I didn't eat anything. And here I got 6 mana up, which is enough for an endurance with this Cord. So I'm not going to actually cast out this Geist right now. Our clock is still faster than theirs. We can still attack with the Innkeeper here and get them dead. Okay, Bitter Reunion, sure. Don't really care about this. Draw 2, discard 1. There goes an Undying Malice, sure. Play out a land, 2 cards in hand. And a Fury, discarding a Seasoned Pyromancer. And that's a board wipe here, which is pretty obnoxious, but we're going to Cord in response to this. Cord for 3. And I wonder if Hapatra is just better, because we'll start eating away at the Voidwalker and give us a wider board. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to get a Hapatra here. Alright, they got a 2 for 4. We only have 2 land in play now. Basically need these 2 cards to get us the rest of the way there. I think they're debating whether or not they're going to sacrifice their Dauthi and get back our Scavenging Ooze, which doesn't really do too much. I don't think they have a green source in their deck, so I don't think that's what they're looking for. But if that's what they want to do, I'm okay with that, because then that opens up our Undying Creatures again. Like if they're really concerned about this Hapatra hitting them. Okay, here they go. Scam player's gonna do scam things. Oh no, not a vanilla 2/2. Oh me, oh my. Alright, other Cord, not a terrible draw. Get our Geist into play. We're gonna hit for 2. And then pass the turn. They're down to 7 life. Next turn, if we draw another land, we can Cord for another Geist. They got 5 land in play, so they got Fury mana up now. Alright, so I could Cord for another Geist. I could also Cord for an Ignoble. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then swing with the Hapatra. I feel like just getting another Geist is probably better though. Yes. Alright, put them down to 5 unless they want to block. Next turn we have lethal on board. Just need to dodge a decent draw step from them. Okay, a Grief, sure. That is a vanilla 3/2 right now. Doesn't really mean much to me. Okay, Forest, it's actually fine. I'll tag with both our Geists again. Block, sure. Alright, so they need a Fury here. Fury is the card that can save them. I guess like a Seasoned Pyromancer could also get the job done, but if not... 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's a pretty good top deck. Yeah, that'll do it too. Okay. We're playing like that. That's cool. That was a pretty good top deck. Let's see what we get here. Alright. Sure. A little tilted off that one right now. Little tilty. That was, outside of Fury, probably their only out. That's pretty ridiculous. Grr. Okay, moving back to my turn. Alright, we're drawing nothing but lands here. I'm going to hold this in hand. Surgical on Geist. Sure. Alright, I have no reason to hold this in hand anymore, so I'm going to play this out. This guy with their surgicals. That is so bad. It's like, there's so many better things that could be. Like a direct damage spell, a removal spell, a blood moon, like, but no, you're using surgical. Okay, moving back to their turn. They don't do anything. Alright. Our best draw here, Yawgmoth, Blood Artist. I mean, it's something. It does something. We'll take it. It kind of does something. Not really, but sort of. Alright, Bitter Reunion, sure. If they can dump like an Archon, or they dump another Surgical? Oh, another Bitter Reunion. Okay. Alright, so that's not a bad draw. We'll play out our Yawgmoth and then pass the turn. Hope they don't have a removal spell. Next turn, depending on what they do, we'll be pretty close to lethal. Like if we draw another creature, if we draw a Yawgmoth, that'll probably just be lethal if this board state stands. They have 3 cards in hand. And it appears a lot of emptiness in their deck. All these surgicals and Bitter Reunions, and I guess Bitter Reunion isn't completely empty, but discard spells, Grief doesn't really do anything right now. Opponent is doing some thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wow. A lot of thinking required for that one. Okay, they're gonna Fury me. I'm gonna draw a card. And then if we draw a land, I'm gonna proliferate here as well. Okay, yeah, we're gonna proliferate with that. So they have a 1/1 Fury. Moving back to our turn, we cannot do anything with that, unfortunately. So if we draw into like a Wall of Roots, we'll be able to use that, but I'm anticipating we'll probably get discarded before then. Take a hit for 2. Not as scary as a hit for 6. Okay, Dried Arbor. Evoing a Dried Arbor. We don't have our Scavenging Ooze. There's not really much we can get with that, so I think we just play it out and pass the turn. We can get a Wall of Roots, which is a blocker, but it really doesn't do much there. Didn't I already cast an Evo? I did not, no. Sure. Dreadbore my Dryad Arbor. Hit me for 2. Moving to our turn. Alright. I can get rid of this Ignoble and get an Endurance. And shuffle these cards back into my library, which I think might be the move. Obviously, if we had a Grist, that would be great, but we do not. Shieldred would be pretty clutch right about now, too. I'm guessing they're going to have a removal spell for that, seeing as how they Dreadboard my my Dried Arbor. Let's see what they do. No attacks. Okay. And I will be holding my Endurance back as well. We're going to play this out because it represents a Dried Arbor. Pass the turn. Nothing here. Little draw go. Which I think favors them, to be honest. They have 5 cards in hand. Alright, that's a pretty good draw. Pretty good draw. Let's do this differently. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another Yawgmoth. And we're going to wait on any attacks for another moment. I'm anticipating they have some sort of a reanimate spell for this Fury, so I'm not gonna do anything hasty right now. But I think we will be able to get it with like a proliferate line. And that's what we're gonna try to do. We'll see if they cast like an Undying Malice in response. So here what they're priced into doing is casting in response. I can fetch my Dryad Arbor and kill the Fury with it on the stack, or I can just opt not to proliferate. So they're kind of, if they have it in their hand, they have to use it. So here, I'm going to let them do that. Sure. And I'm not going to proliferate here. And I'll just pass the turn. So it was a 1-for-1. And now when we draw another card, we'll be able to do the same thing again. Any non-creature we draw serves that purpose. Okay, and I'm not fetching out my Dryad Arbor because I want to have access to it at instant speed. This is a redraw here, so we're gonna do that. There's another Thoughtseize, so we're going to take the same line we just took last turn. And we'll attack. See if this is good enough. It seems like it is. Hopefully. Alright, cool. We got there. Game 3. Let's go. So game 3, we didn't see any Ragavans. I wonder if we shave on our Yawgmoths a little more. It seems to me like they might not have Ragavan in the deck. We also didn't see Lightning Bolt. There's a lot of things we didn't see. I'm going to go with this. 1 Evo, 2 Chord, 4 Endurance, 4 Grist, 3 Thoughtseize. Okay. Alright, avoid turn 1 scam. This 7 is fine. If they have like nothing, it's a turn 4 combo, but I don't think that that's likely. They mulligan to 5. We can definitely lose against them on a mull to 5. It's not out of the question. They need 4 cards to have their combo. In turn 1 here, I think we're fetching basic. I think we're just getting ourselves a forest just to play around Blood Moon just in case. Cliffs, 4 cards in hand. Fury, or Grief. Path of Peril was discarded. Sure. I have 2 cards in hand. I think they get rid of our Undyers. I think that's the move. Yawgmoth and Strangleroot. If they can bring this back, which I'm assuming they can. But if they can't follow this up, I think we have a shot at beating it. As long as they don't top deck like they did last game. Blood Artist. What? What? Why would you get rid of Blood Artist? I'm telling you, these scam players, man. These scam players, I don't know what they're on. This is the running joke on this channel. Scam players and their decisions are questionable. I think the first card you get rid of is the Yawgmoth, because it takes me off the ability to do anything. Like, that's probably the most important card to get rid of. But now I have a turn 1 play, and I can curve out if I draw into like another 1-drop or a 2-drop. But instead you got rid of Blood Artist. I am not sure. Alright, let's see if they do not hit another land drop. So that's really good for us. And we drew into a Geist. I think we get our Ooze out here, as that's going to start swinging the clock in our favor. And it feels like they're F6'd. So next turn, if we draw land, we can play out Geist. And then we can leave back Wolf and Geist as blockers, and then eat the Grief with Ooze if they try to reanimate it again. So the hope is we draw a land here. They have 3 cards in hand. Land drop. It's kind of like a land drop. That's pretty good. All right, we'll eat the Geist. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can chord for 1, which gets us a Mana Dork. We're at 10 life. I think I can attack here. I think I'm going to attack here. Okay, they're down to 15. We're going to go down to 7. We need to dodge Fury, of course, as always. They have 4 cards in hand. They're going to attack us down to 6. Sure. Okay, they did not hit their second land drop. 4 cards in hand. Alright, Swamp is not a bad draw. So from here, we can go Geist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so we have a Yawgmoth from here. So I think we just pass the turn. Get ourselves a Yawg. And then I think we should be able to just win from there, depending on what they do. So we can double block this Grief with the Geist and the Yawgmoth. There's their second land. We'll see if they tap out here. 4 cards in hand. I wonder if they have like a couple of Surgicals in their hand, which if they do, that's fine. Undying Malice, sure. I feel like something's getting surgicaled here. Eat the Grief. Did you forget about Scavenging Ooze? Okay, no surgical, no surgical, no Grief. We still have an activation with this Wall of Roots as well, and I think, so I can chord for Hapatra here. I could also chord for an Endurance. I can also chord for an Innkeeper. I think I'm actually going to get an Innkeeper here. This Innkeeper lets me go infinite here, despite the fact that my Blood Artist is in the graveyard. Okay, cool. Untap. Grist, not bad. I wonder if we can do Grist. No, we can't do Grist and Yawg. We have one or the other. Alright, so we're going to lead with an attack. Bring in the team. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put them down to 5. And then from here, I wonder... Maybe I just get the Grist into play. I think that's probably better. This also feeds my Ooze a little bit too. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to eat that with the Ooze. So sequencing wise, maybe I did that incorrectly. Alright, feels like we're winning this match. I don't want to speak too soon, but that's what it feels like. This is now out of Fury range, so if they have like Fury plus Undying, we'll be able to deal with that. The only other thing is if they have a board wipe, Path of Peril, another one of those, that would be pretty bad for us. Okay, and they scoop. We got there. 2-1 against Scam. I didn't think we were winning that match. We are back for match 2, Modern League. We are playing against Tanstorm, currently 1-0, Black-Green Yawgmoth. Opening 7. If Tanstorm is in fact playing Storm, this hand will be excellent. If they are not, it's acceptable, but nothing too special. We're going to be on the play after an epic 3 times through rolling the dice. If that's any indication of how our match is going to be, this is going to be a good one. Yeah, we'll keep this. It's medium, but we'll keep it. Oh no, we're on the draw. I lost the die roll. OMG. And our opponent knows our vids. They say, oh, it's you. I love your vids. This one will be out on Wednesday. All right, let's go. GL to our opponent. Tanstorm, if you're watching this, I hope this was an epic match. Good luck to you. Let's go. Hopefully they're not scamming. Basic Swamp. Thoughtseize. Okay, so this feels reminiscent of our last match. And Tanstorm, if you are playing Scam, I said some not so nice things about Scam players in our last video, or in our last match, and I've said some mean things in other videos too. I hope you disprove me. I hope your play is top notch here. Let's go. All right, so Thoughtseize, they discard our Yawgmoth. Our turn, we do not have a 1-drop. We're hoping our 2-drops can hold up under the pressure of whatever it is that they're doing. Opponent wishes us good luck. Stringer Root's fine. Nothing too special, but it will give us a little bit of pressure. I think our lines are going to be Wall of Roots, and then Wall of Roots again, and then hopefully into either a 2 or a 3-drop from there. Alright, Blood Crypt tapped, and then they're passing the turn. So, and we draw into a Yawgmoth, which we're going to need another land to make use of, but we're going to play on our Wall of Roots for now. Hopefully this doesn't get Fatal Pushed or killed. Here comes a Fatal Push on cue. They were ready for that one. Alright, so we're hoping we draw into a land here so we can go Wall of Roots into Geist. That would be best case scenario. I need to make sure I'm turning off auto yields as well, just so I don't click through an endurance here if I need to use it. Alright, 3rd land. So I wonder if this is more of like a rock style deck than a Scam deck. Land? Not a land. Okay, it's still something. I feel like this Wall of Roots gonna die, but we'll at least get some use out of it here. Wall of Roots into Yawgmoth. And we'll pass the turn from there. Alright, Wall of Roots live this time. So if they have something like Dreadbore, they can kill it, but if they don't, I think they would have killed it during our turn, so it looks like it might survive. Black-red decks running amok in Modern right now, which is kind of surprising how well Yawgmoth is doing right now amidst such a high amount of black-red Scam type strategies. But once again, I'm not convinced this is Scam as of yet. We'll see. 4 mana. Fury. Okay. Is our Wall of Roots going away? When did they discard? Discarded another Fury. Sure. Sure. 3 and 1. That's an interesting line to take. Interesting they're not doing 4 and 0 and then get the Yawgmoth on the way back. Like, they know about the endurances, so this is a little bit odd. We're definitely not letting this Fury come back in. All right, so Fury's going to hit the graveyard, and we're going to exile our Geist and get rid of it. They have 3 mana untapped, so we'll see what they do from here. And we'll have another Endurance up. Our Wall of Roots seem to survive. 2, 3, Pyromancer. Okay, so that line makes a little more sense given this sequence. Drawing into a land would be great. Would be spectacular. Would be wonderful. All right, we got there. And then from here, I think we're gonna. Do we take this opportunity and draw a couple cards or no? Do we or don't we? I think we'll hold off. We'll give it a moment. I'm reconsidering here. I feel like if we draw a land and a green card, that would be really good. So I actually think I'm going to do it now, just to play around at them potentially having a removal spell. There's our land. Let's see if we can draw a green card. Green card? All right, another Yawgmoth, still not bad. We'll take that. So I guess we get punished here if they have some sort of like a discard spell. 2 mana. A Voidwalker. Ugh. We don't like that one. 1 mana, 2 mana. This feels like a Terminate. Yes. So they can Voidwalker and get our Yawgmoth now, which would be really bad. We've got 1 card in hand. Blooming Marsh, not great. All right, so we're gonna fetch basic here. And we're gonna play out another Yawgmoth. And then from here, I think we're gonna attack with this Young Wolf. I think that's a line we're okay with. I understand they're gonna get the Pyromancer into the graveyard, but I think we're okay with that. If they choose to block. Like, if that's how they're using their turn, making 2 1/1s, yeah, by all means, please do. So if they have something like an Undying Malice, that would be really good against us, because they could cast it on the Voidwalker, sacrifice it, get a Yawgmoth, and then bring it back again. And in that situation, we're kind of in a little bit of a predicament. Like, do we sacrifice our Young Wolf to try to evoke our Endurance to cut them off of that line? Gets a little squirrely at that point. But they do actually, like, potentially have an engine if they get this Yawgmoth in play. And they have a 5th land for the Pyromancer. So they can, like, Yawgmoth, minus, sack the Pyromancer, land, flashback the Pyromancer, and then they'll get 2 more draws off of that. So they got choices. Yawg is a very powerful card. Decisions. Hopefully we can dodge another Fury. We've seen 2 Furies already so far this game. Alright, so it looks like they're getting Yawgmoth, which I think is a very reasonable line. Okay, there it is. Yawg versus Yawg, 2 ships passing in the night here. No attacks, reasonable. Alright, and now that we have our Fury up, or our Endurance up, not a Fury, that's actually pretty good for us. So I think we're going to lead out Twilight Mirror, and then I'm going to sack the Peatland to draw a card. Alright, and that is a very, very good draw. And we're going to cast out our Geist here. So our Yawgmoth engine, a little better than their Yawgmoth engine. So if they have something like a Lightning Bolt, we're going to play around that right now as opposed to just going all in. I think they're debating whether or not they're going to sacrifice the Pyromancer EOT. I think that makes a little more sense if they had a 5th land. For now, I think you just hold it, unless they're looking for something in particular. Okay, and they don't, so I think that was a good play. Keep in mind, we do still have this Endurance, so... Alright, they fetch. And now if this is a Fury, which it feels like, we're going to draw a bajillion cards in response. So they can sack the Pyromancer here, put a counter on my Young Wolf, and then what I'll do is I'll let my Geist hit it, I'll draw a card, Young Wolf will come back, they'll both have counters, and then the line from there will likely be evoking the Endurance and trying to draw a bunch of cards. And from there, if we find like a Chord of Calling, we can actually just win from that point. Yeah, so this is fine. We kind of anticipated this one. We're going to let this happen. They draw a card. Our Geist Undying is going to happen. And now, actually, I think I'm just going to... Oh, I should have... That was a mistake. All right, so from here... That was a mistake. I should have started comboing from there. We're going to let this Fury hit the battlefield. We're going to see what their targets are. Okay, there's the target. And I think we're going to evoke. We're going to get rid of their graveyard here. And now we're going to do some Yawg shenanigans. Our life total is getting a little low, but I think the card advantage is obviously the most important part of all of this. All right, we need to draw something other than lands though. Drawing into like a Court of Calling and another Yawgmoth would be ideal. We're down to 7. I think we get like 2 more draw steps to make something happen here. Okay, there's the cord. So from here, we're out of endurances, so I don't have that line available. Let's draw 1 or 2 more here. All right, another Yawgmoth is decent. I'm gonna go down to 5 life here. Another Hierarch, okay. All right, so we'll let that happen. Fury hits there, sure. And then we'll see if they attack here. And we will block if they do attack. Sure, nothing. Fine by me. Oh, for some reason I thought I shuffled their graveyard. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so we have a kill next turn. We just have to make it to next turn. So from here, I think we play out another Mire. So they're gonna have a line open to them where they can like sacrifice the Fury to the Yawgmoth, put the Undying Malice on the stack, and then try to kill us from there. So that is something I do have on my radar here. All right, play out our Yawgmoth, play out our Hierarch, play out our Bird, and now we have Yawg up. Conversely, right now I could actually just chord for a Grist and kill the Yawgmoth. And I wonder if that's actually just better, just because of where our life total is, and just cut them off of the card advantage and the potential for that line. I wonder if that's the move. I feel like that might be. And then just try to accrue advantage with Grist. 1, 2, all right, we'll go done here, get ourselves a Grist, and then we're gonna sacrifice a Yawgmoth, and I guess it's kind of close. Do we kill the Yawg or do we kill the Fury? I think we kill the Yawg. Fury we can just chump block between our Grist tokens and our Geist and our Yawgmoths. So as long as they can't wipe our board here. All right, so they have 2 cards in hand. Let's see if we can beat this. They're up to 3 cards. Fury in play. 1, 2, is this another Voidwalker? All right, Voidwalker kind of sucks. Given how low our life total is, that's a tough one. So this is the line where getting Yawgmoth probably would have been better. Now I think they do attack. They attack me. That's lethal. I have to block. Yeah, and I think we block with the Yawgmoth here. Okay. Wall of Roots is fine. All right, so I think we start with the Peatland draw card. Do that. Let's see what we draw into. Okay, Evo is not bad. So here we can wall, Evo, counter on the Voidwalker, and proliferate it away. Let me just see. All right, so we got that stuff in exile. All right, so I think we start with the wall. Or maybe, I think we actually have to get rid of the Geist here. And the reason I think we have to do that is because we need the mana up to be able to proliferate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually we can just do the wall. Alright, so we get ourselves another Yawgmoth. Minus on the Voidwalker here. So we're at 4 life. Things are definitely touch and go here. Another Evo. Okay, we're going to proliferate from here. Discard a Blooming Marsh. Done. Okay. So now what I can actually do is I can sacrifice the Grist, kill the Fury, and swing for 5, put them down to 4. But I think I'm actually going to just play it a little bit safe, plus the Grist, swing for 3. This has been a very interesting game, very close game. Attack with our Yawgmoth, and then pass the turn. Alright, so the goal here, don't get lightning bolted. And we have a Grist ultimate next turn, depending on what they do. They have 1 card in hand. I don't think they have a, oh, if this is a, yeah, that was a good draw. If that was their draw. It's a good card, I should say. That refuels them a little bit. The 4 life is very, very relevant. Okay, from here, I think we've got the win here. Okay, so we're going to start 1, 2, discard a card, we'll proliferate, and they scoop. Okay, they see that, I see the line. That was a very good game. Our die roll was an indication of what was to come. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing I did last match. Shieldred, Endurance, Ooze, Veil, and Thoughtseizes. Shaving 2 of those, 2 of those. Most of our birds. I think we're going to get rid of a Geist this time and a Wall of Roots. And we'll submit. All right, we're back. Game 2. Tanstorm, opening 7. I like this 7. I do. They keep a 7, which kind of sucks for us, but Leyline, ugh. All right, you're doing it. All right, don't scam me. Okay. That I can deal with. That I can tolerate. All right, so we have double Endurance again. I'm going to lead on a bird this time. I'm not going to leave out the Veil of Summer. I feel like if they had a way to discard a card out of our hand, they would have used it on turn 1. So hopefully we don't get punished here. But my guess is they're probably going to cast a Dolphy on this turn. Fatal Push. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. Best draw here is a land, I think. Or Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize would be reasonable. Into a land. Grist is fine. We do need a land on our next turn, though. So we'll go Yawgmoth, and we'll pass the turn from here. We have our Veil of Summer up. Tapped, sure. And we might need to use the Veil of Summer just to cantrip into our 3rd land drop. So I think that's going to be pretty important given the way our hand is shaped right now. All right, they're on 3 land. See if they shock. I don't think, outside of Beseiju, one of which is already in play, we don't really have a way to get this Leyline off the board. Alright, there's a Voidwalker. And from here, I'm just going to cantrip with this Veil of Summer. Not the greatest use of it. We'll see if they kill the Yawgmoth in response. They don't. Okay, we hit our land drop, good. So drawing into a Wall of Roots there is decent. And the question is, do we get basic, or do we get a non-basic? I think we get a basic Forest. I think that's probably better, even though we don't have Yawgmoth if we do. But I think having green mana is so important that we need to make use of it. We're going to get super punished if they do have an Endurance, but I think we got to do this. Start pressuring their life total. Let's see if something gets bolted here. Feels like something is. Likely the Geist. Okay, there's another push. So they were thinking about, there was a little bit of a hesitation when I cast the Veil of Summer, and they were thinking about whether or not they wanted to push my wolf in response, and they chose not to, and I think that was a good deal of restraint shown on their part, not doing that. So well played to our opponent. 1, 2, 3 black mana. Liliana of the Veil. I was not expecting that one. So that we definitely need to get rid of. And each player discards a card. And we're going to discard an Endurance here. Sure. Okay, Hapatra. Hapatra's not terrible. They discarded a Grief. I think we're going to lead on Hapatra. We'll have our Endurance up. We'll swing into Liliana. And then it's just going to be a race from there. Or maybe not. Maybe we Grist minus kill the Liliana. No, we have to kill the Dothy. That's the card we have to get rid of. So swing at Liliana, Grist minus, kill Dothy, and then just try to ride Grist to victory from there. I think that's the line. Alright, we'll swing at Liliana. They're going to have some time though. Right, here's the Grist. They're tapped out now too, so there's very little risk to me doing this. And I think we get rid of the Yawgmoth. We're going to lose a Patra, and then we have to hopefully get our Endurance out from there, and we'll be able to swing down the Liliana on the following turn. Definitely wasn't expecting Liliana though. But we do need our Grist to survive for this Liliana for us to be able to neutralize it, because we do get card advantage off the Grist. Now if they uptick, we are going to get rid of Hapatra, but if they don't, if we have this hand intact on our next turn, that would be really, really good for us. Okay, they make us sacrifice a creature. Sure. And they do nothing from there? That's cool. We're okay with that. Draw a card. Alright, Ooze is pretty good. We're going to plus. Peatland goes to the graveyard, and then I think I'm going to play out my Ooze. We'll be able to eat something out of their graveyard here. See if they have a removal spell for my Ooze. Okay, and they do not. They don't do anything. Okay, Hapatra's going away here. Another Leyline in their hand. The cons of playing Leyline. And here a card I need to play around is Kolaghan's Command. So I'm actually not going to play it. I'm not going to uptick my Ooze here and now. Unless they tap out for something. I've gotten burned by that line before where I tap, try to eat something, Kolaghan's Command, they bring it back, and kill my Ooze at the same time. And that's such a blowout. We cannot afford for that to happen. I don't know how many Kolaghan's Commands they run, or if that's stock at this point, but I'm not going to take the chance because it's happened to me before. So I always err more on the side of like playing a little bit more cautiously. It's just my play style. I'm very conservative in the lines I take as opposed to aggressive. Like I watched Demonic Tutor's streams. Alright, so there's a bolt. So now we can eat something, and we'll eat the Voidwalker. Like Demonic Tutor's streams, I watch him play, and he definitely has a more aggressive approach in terms of how he plays, but I prefer to go slow and steady, as they say. Land would be our best draw, I think. Yawgmoth, not great. I'm going to uptick the Grist. We're going to swing into the Liliana. Alright, we lost a Yawgmoth there. But it is nice that our Grist is starting to get a little bit higher in loyalty. And we should have this Liliana dead next turn. We'll be discarding the Yawgmoth to the uptick, assuming that's what happens here. Okay, there goes Fury. I wonder if they kill... They discarded a Seasoned Pyromancer for that as well. I wonder if they get rid of the Grist. 1 and 3, they will be. Sure. Uptick. We'll dump our Yawgmoth. Okay. And I think we're advantaged from this point. Like, we'll be able to get rid of the Liliana. And here, I actually think I'm going to leave their graveyard. I'm not going to shuffle Fury back into their deck. I think they might have known about this Endurance too. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they did. Alright, so this is actually nice because we'll have Xaxes for Liliana, and then we'll be able to 4 them. All right, so we're in control here. They're on a 2-turn clock now, so if they draw into something like a land, yep, they're pressured here. My opponent says rough with that draw step, and it was. I needed them to miss there. Playing out this Verdant because it represents a creature for us, so giving us an extra attacker definitely matters. If they whiff again here, they did, and we got there. We got there. So 2-0 versus Scam this league. Nice. Our opponent played very well too. I must give it to them. I think they took... My opponent says, hopefully I didn't play too poorly. And I said, I'm complimenting your play right now. You played well. All right, match 3, Modern League. We are playing against GPM 204. We have rolled a 5. They have rolled a 3. We will be on the play, and we will take it. We're currently 2-0. And at this moment, as I'm watching this, as I'm filming this video, our YouTube page, I don't know if you can see that or not, hopefully, we just hit 1,000 subscribers, 1K, which was a big goal of mine. And I just want to say thank everybody so much for supporting this channel and for contributing to this community. I am grateful for all of your support, and I'm overwhelmed by the amount of support and the amount of love that I've gotten on this channel. So thank you, everybody. Keep your eyes out. We are going to be doing a big giveaway for our 1K subscribers. That will happen at some point in the next week once something arrives in my mail, and I'll let you guys know when that's happening. So thank you, everybody. Opening 7. This is kind of like an aggro hand. We're going to keep it. It's nothing too special, but it's worth keeping. We'll see what GPM is doing. Hopefully we're not playing against Scam again. They mulligan to 6 cards. They got that Gem Razor avatar over there. You know they're up to no good. We will play out our basic forest into our bird, which is probably getting bolted because that's what happens. And we'll pass the turn. Basic plains. All right, something different. Watch it be like the like black-white ephemerate deck instead of the normal Scam deck. That'd be kind of funny. Not really, but it would be at the same time. All right, we've got a gajillion Strangleroot Geists, so we're going to start playing them out here. And I think we're just going to yield here. I don't think I'm going to attack. I don't think the upside is that high. And just having this back as a blocker, if they do have a hammer on the Sentinel, I think is probably more important than getting 2 points of damage. We're leaning pretty hard on this wall right now. So that's part of the reason I'm taking this approach as well. Like, this wall is letting us, if we have a Yawgmoth, it's letting us cast that. If we get a Chord of Calling, it's going to let us get a Yawgmoth off of that. So I think this is pretty important right now. They play out an Ornithopter and an Inkmoth, and they pass the turn. There's an Evo, so that's really good. All right, so I think we'll lead with a Wolf. And we're gonna, so they don't have any, unless they have a Mana Tithe in their deck. That's the only way I really get punished for that line. I guess the Sentinel, they'll draw a card. I wasn't really thinking about that, so maybe I should have played around that. But I think we're okay in this instance. Get our Yawgmoth. And from here, they usually don't have any interaction game 1, so if we draw a land and a Chord of Calling, we'll just win from here. Turn 3 kill, not too shabby. I'm jumping the gun a little bit in terms of, like, we don't actually have the turn 3 kill yet, but we're in a position where we can get it. And they scoop, so we'll count that. Turn 3. Let's go. So we're playing against Hammertime. We're going to bring in Crime Punishment, 3 Force of Vigors, and Haywire Might. 5 cards. We are going to board out Grists, an Endurance, and 2 Wall of Roots, I think. I think that looks pretty good. I can also see myself getting rid of a Young Wolf, but I don't... On the draw, we'll keep it in. Yeah, we'll go with this. Pretty straightforward boarding in this matchup. Pretty straightforward. Definitely a favored matchup for Yawgmoth. If they get off to one of their quick starts, they can win, but we're definitely favored to win this one. Something is missing out of this opening 7, unfortunately. They begin with 7 cards. We can't keep this, unfortunately, so we're going to mulligan. And our 6 is a little on the slow side, but this is definitely a keep. And I think we get rid of... It's between the Catacombs and the Peatland. Peatland represents a redraw, but I think we're going to get rid of that. Lead off with a Horizon Canopy. Complete disregard for their life total. Alright, so this is a scary opener, because if they have a hammer, if they have 2 hammers, we could just be dead here. So we're definitely under fire, under siege. We'll see. I had mentioned, I think, that they're, we're favored, but they can have these hands where they just kill us, and this could be one of those instances. Attack with the Ornithopter, hammer, hammer, and we are clubbed to death. I have to say, I do like the flavor of hammer, though, how the creature loses flying. It's like you're carrying this big, giant, heavy thing. Makes sense that you wouldn't be able to fly afterwards. So CP for 0 is actually pretty nice right now. So I think we're going to take that line if we get to our turn. All right, don't kill me. Let's see how many hammers come in here. Hopefully only 1. It's going to be a big hit. All right, only 1. Phew. And they are representing... All right, that was a really good draw too. They are representing a blacksmith skill. So we are going to likely need to use our Force of Vigor too, I think. All right, cool. Cool, cool. That was good. All right, and now we're kind of safe. We're safe to attack at this point. They could have like a Ginger Brute, but I think we can deal with that if they do. All right, another Saga. And I think I'm actually going to get rid of this with the trigger on the stack here. I'm going to keep them off 2 mana. All right, cool. And I will yield through the turn from here. They have 3 cards in hand. There's another Ornithopter. All right, and we drew our Geist back, so that's nice. Play out 8 Geist. And now if they have something like a Paladin and another 0-drop, they can equip the Ornithopter. So for that reason, I'm going to leave... Well, Young Wolf attacking doesn't accomplish anything anyway, so I guess we can just leave that back. Let's see if they hit their land drop. They do. Now we'll see if they actually have a Paladin or not. Alright, Stoneforge, okay. So that represents a Cauldron, which is definitely a little problematic. We do have Might in the deck. And I'm not going to fetch here just because I want to draw land, so we're going to hold off on that. Increases our chances of drawing one. Okay, so that deals with Cauldron, and for that reason, I am just going to yield through the turn. So as long as they don't have another land, we don't have to worry about Blacksmith skill, so hopefully not. And I'm going to do this with the trigger on the stack, because they're not playing out their land first. Alright, so triggers on the stack. We're going to fetch basic. And we will chord, get our Might, and exile the Cauldron. So we got it covered. Might to the rescue. The 6-card hand is shaped up pretty nicely. Now all we need is that extra land, and we'll be good. Another Saga. That's their 3rd Saga. Pretty good. And a Ginger Brute. Damn. Damn that gingerbread man. All right, land. We got there. Okay, we're in business, everybody. We are in business. We're rocking and we're rolling. We'll see if they scoop from here. We're gonna get rid of the Ginger Brute right off the bat. Birds of Paradise, and we're gonna swing for 4. If they want to block with this Ornithopter, okay, they just scoop. You got there. 3-0. All right, we are back. Match 4 of our Modern League. We are playing against Jinja Ninja 67. It's a funny name. They are on the play. Our opening 7. Don't like Dryad Arbor, but I think it's definitely a keep. We'll see what they're running. Let's go. Lego, as the kids say. They lead Flooded Strand. They don't have a, one of those guys, companions. All right, so Blue-Red Murktide most likely. Being on the draw here hurts us a lot. Hierarch is likely going to bite the dust. Dryad Arbor is really, really bad in this matchup as well. Really, really bad to have in our opener, at least. All right, Hierarch past the turn. They're going to have at least 3 card types in their graveyard, if I had to guess, by the end of this turn. Drawing a land here was fine, only because we'll be able to hard cast a Grist on 3. We'll see if they leave up a counter spell here, and they seem to be. And the question is, do we just jam into it, or do we play around it? I don't know that we're really getting anywhere playing around it. And I think I'm actually going to fetch basic Swamp here. We are feeding their graveyard here if they have a counter spell. It's what they're representing, but they do not always have it, and we get through. Holla at your Grist. Endurance goes to the graveyard. We wanted that. That's a good one. I'm wondering what they kept. That's weird that they don't have... Like, they didn't have a Consider. They didn't have a counter spell. They didn't have a removal spell. It's like, what are they keeping? Whoa, that counter spell's cool looking. I've never seen that before. Fancy. Strixhaven Mystical Archive. Alright, Lightning Bolt, land. So they're going to bolt down our Insect, I guess? Oh, they're just going straight for Grist. I guess they're trying to get the 4th card type in the graveyard, but they missed. So they, a swing and a miss from our opponent. And from here, I actually think, oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say we're going to Evo away the Hierarch and get ourselves an Endurance, but now that changes things. That changes things quite a bit. We're going to play out a Yawgmoth. We are going to swing for a 2, and then Dragon's Rage Channeler will be hitting the bin. No more surveilling for you. And we have a kill pretty much wrapped up next turn, depending on what they do. They're definitely going to be pressured to get something onto the board. I guess they could get a... If they have a Heat, they can kill the Yawg right now. We'll draw at least a card off of that. Alright, Shredder, fine. And then I guess they're going to Heat the Yawg. Yeah. So that's what we were expecting. They'll put a card into the graveyard. Spell Pierce, sure. They have 3 cards in hand. Dump down that Shredder a notch. Draw a land. And then from here, it's do we get rid of the Hierarch or not? I don't think we do. I think we want that Hierarch. Okay, Bobble. So they have 5 card types. They're looking at our top card. Best case situation for us is another Yawgmoth, I think. 3 cards in their hand. Hey, what do you know? What do you know? All that effort to get rid of Yawg, and he just comes right back. Yawg. And the sequencing there was important. I didn't play out my Dryad Arbor first because it gives them the chance to bolt it before I play my Yawg out, which represents 1 less card I can draw and 1 less -1/-1 counter I can put. So we're being careful about our sequencing. They're attacking in, targeting our Grist. Yes, I am going to put a -1 counter on this before damage. We're going to keep our Grist going in an upwards direction here. An upwards trajectory. So if they want to double spell before damage, they're fine to do that, but... And drawing into the Mire actually isn't bad. This feels like a Murktide. A Murky Murk, which we can deal with our Grist. Sure. 2 cards in hand. This is only a 3/3? What are they doing? Oh, okay, they're going to cast another one. I gotcha. We can kill both of these, so not the end of the world. I like that though. That was fancy. 6, 7, 8. Counter for Ledger Shredder. Boom. Look at that turn. Look at that turn. Very impressive. Very impressive. Geist was a really good draw. A very, very good draw. I foresee them scooping here, to be honest. They only have 1 card in hand. We're going to add a mana. I'm going to target my Geist. There's another Geist. 1. Oh, we just have a kill here, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't even need to play... I don't even need to worry about killing the Murktide at this point. And they can't Subtlety, they only have 1 card in hand, so we'll just win from here. Fine by me. And that'll do it. And they scoop. Alright, on the draw, we get there. Game 1. I think our opponent's hand was pretty bad, though. I don't know what they kept or why they kept it. So we're going to bring in 6 cards. These 6, we are going to board out our normal suite of 3 Evos. I'm going to board out 2 Hierarch and a Wall of Roots, I think. I think I'm going to keep the Wall of Roots, and I think we'll get rid of the Geist maybe on the draw. Now that they have Ledger Shredder, Geist is just kind of like medium. It's meh. Alright, Dryad Arbor's back. Let's go. They begin with 7. His hand is pretty bad. If they have a Ragavan, the Wolf is important. We're going to hit our land drops. This is very suspect. I'm just very hesitant to ship back a hand that has a turn 1 Young Wolf against this deck. I'm going to keep it. This might be wrong. We're going to need to draw into some stuff for sure, but turn 1 Young Wolf I think is really important in this matchup. They bobble themselves and do nothing. Okay. So maybe we should have shipped it. They've got 6 in hand. Drawing into Endurance was really good there. Really, really good. Alright, we'll play out our Marsh and our Young Wolf, and we'll pass the turn. Alright, they're going to fetch. So they wanted whatever was on top because they did not fetch before the bobble trigger and consider. So they're filling up their graveyard very quickly. If they have another fetch land, they can actually cast a turn 2 Murktide, which is kind of crazy. They have 6 cards in hand, and from here we're actually not going to do anything. Yeah, actually, I can cast out. It might not even be worth it. It might just be better to pitch it to an Endurance. Yeah, we'll try it. Can I cast my Young Wolf? Yes, okay. The reason I'm doing that pre-combat is because it opens up the line for me to be able to attack if it resolves. Turn off auto yields. They kept whatever's on top, sure. Are they going to bolt one of my Young Wolves? Alright, they are bolting one of the Young Wolves, and I think here I might actually Endurance. So it feels... no, I think we're just going to let it be. Like if they tap out for a Murktide, yes, that's really bad, but I think having Endurance up at instant speed is better. They have 1, 2, 3 card types in the graveyard, so they do not have Delirium yet. Court of Calling is a really good draw. Play out our Twilight Mirror. Swing. I think we're going to swing for 3. Keep pressuring their life total a little bit. Heat. This feels like they have a Fury in hand. And now if they fetch EOT, I'm gonna Endurance them. They did not. So they're playing around that. They have it on their radar. Bobble, sure. It was a good play from my opponent. Very good play. Fetch. Land. Another land. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Brotherhood's End, sure. Yeah, that's fine. So the lines they took make a little more sense now. But we are going to be able to Endurance them, which is really, really good. It's going to cut them off at Delirium. And now I think we're pretty firmly in control here for the time being. They have 3 cards in hand. Geist was another good draw. So we'll swing for 5. And then I am going to cast out my Hapatra too. This gives me lines to hit my Yawg next turn and go infinite, so we're gonna use that. Iteration, sure. They're really priced into getting cards into their graveyard at this point. And they scoop. We got there. 2-0, 4-0. Let's go. Alright everybody, this is all for all the marbles. We are 4-0. We are playing against Cookie Kid 00. We are going to try to steal the cookies from their cookie jar and walk away with a trophy. Let's do it. We are on the draw. Opening 7 is a keep. Let's see what they're playing. This has been a tough league too. Tough. Alright, and we're playing against a good matchup. We're on the draw though, which isn't good. Oh, okay. So this is Bring to Light. This is Bring to Light. Alright, so I'm going to keep this Boseiju for that reason. And we're going to play out our Hierarch and pass the turn. This hand is a little slow for this matchup. I would prefer something a little bit faster. Renin 6 is really good right now. Unfortunate. They do have a fetch land as well. That kind of sucks. Yes, they're cranking on all cylinders right now. Blood Artist, not a good draw. Here we're priced into our Wall of Roots. I think we just pass from there, unfortunately. Like, I can play out the Hierarch and then tutor for a Dryad Arbor, but I don't think that that's the line I'm taking to win this game. I think we have to get a Yawg into play to win this game. Alright, they have a Heath. They have 4 mana up, 4 cards in hand, a Renin 6, and another Dork is, once again, not where we want to be. Alright, so I can get like an extra mana out of the situation. They could remand this, they don't. Okay. Yeah, I could get an extra mana out of the situation by using the wall, but I don't think that's how I want to use my Chord. So I think we just wait. Okay, they're tapping some mana, they're cycling. Alright, so they're getting two draw steps a turn now with the Renin 6 and the Cycler. Like I mentioned before, it feels like we're pretty far behind. Grist isn't that strong in this matchup, especially on the draw. It's very slow. Post board, we're going to be leaning pretty hard on our Thoughtseizes and our Necromentias. They do play Veil of Summer, so that's something we're going to have to play around. Alright, they get a basic Plains. We'll see if this is a Leyline Binding. Feels like it, yes. And they hit the Grist, I'm assuming. It'll be interesting whether or not they downtick the Ren on our Insect token, or if they just uptick it. Depends on what they value here. Alright, this is an Omnath. Yep. Yep. We are really far behind here. Feels like we're definitely losing this game. I will be very surprised if we don't. Basic Forest, sure. So they can just bring to light from here. It's a very... I'm kind of tempted just to scoop at this point, to be honest. We're just getting run over. Yeah, their draw has been... I don't think there is really much we could do about what they're doing right now. Land. So we do have a Yawg on their turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So we're going to play out our Dorks here. And as long as we can dodge some sort of counter magic, which I don't know that they I think they might run Remand. I'm not 100% sure, but... Oh, wait. Never mind. They have a Teferi. I can't do that. Okay. Alright. Alright. You got me. So in that case, I should have ran out the Blood Artist as well. Omnath, we'll take a hit for 4. Untap. Move to our turn. Land. Play out the Blood Artist, and then we're going to get a Yawgmoth and hope that this is good enough. Which I don't think it will be. Alright. Get Yawgmoth in play. That's nice. They can't bounce it. They are representing another Leyline Binding, though. We will likely draw at least 2 cards off of this. Okay, no binding. Cool. So we're not dead yet. We have so many cards that are just brutal for us, though. Like a Dryad, a Bring to Light. Alright, they won. Sacrifice our Blood Artist. Not too big a deal. Draw a card here. Chord is good. Chord is good. They have 5 cards in hand. Like, if we get another turn and our Yawg survives, it's not over. They shocked there, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Feels like a Bring to Light. Or a Prismatic Ending. I think if this is Bring to Light, we're just dead. Oh, I think we're super dead. They have the Omnath, so they're going to get a bajillion triggers off this thing. Our only hope is they mess up. Which I've had happen before, so I'm not going to scoop just yet. Scapeshift, sure. I think they're supposed to tap for mana before that happens. Alright, that's a lot of triggers. That is a lot of triggers, and we're dead. I'm going to scoop it up. You got me. Game 2. Alright, we're going to play Thoughtseizes. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Might. Force of Vigor. Shieldred seems medium. I wonder if just having it as a threat is worthwhile. I wonder if go for the threat is worthwhile or not. Probably not. I think these 6. And maybe an Endurance, maybe a Shieldred. Shieldred, I don't think Shieldred's what I want to be doing. We're going to get at least 1 Grist down. Shave on Birds, shave on Young Wolf, shave on Hepatra. Let's see what this looks like. Force of Vigor, Might, Thoughtseize. I feel like Innkeeper's probably not very good. Maybe we'll get rid of the Innkeeper, keep the Hepatra. Then is like Shieldred better than Grist? I don't think so. Is Endurance better than Grist? Maybe. No, I think we just keep it like this. I think this is fine. So, play, yes. 7 is good, we'll keep it. We don't have any interaction, but we do get out of the gates pretty quickly. We'll be taking some damage off our lands here though. So regardless of whether or not they kill this, we do have a turn 3 Yawgmoth, which is really nice. Alright, and we're actually really close to just a turn 3 kill now. We might actually have a turn 3 kill. I think we have a turn 3 kill here. Did I say that already? I think I said that. So depending on what they do, if they kill the Hierarch, we can get another one. If they don't kill the Hierarch, we'll get a Yawgmoth, and then we'll go Yawgmoth, and then we'll go Blood Artist. So we'll see what they do here. And here, because they're not doing anything, I think I'm just going to get another Yawgmoth. Feels like they're F6'd. Drawing a land wasn't bad. Play out our Yawg. We'll see what they do from here. They're fetching. I think they have Remand in the deck, so that's something that would be annoying. But as it stands, they don't have a way to Remand, so we'll attack with our Young Wolves. And now, if they try to binding us, we'll just kill them. As long as we don't draw our Blood Artist. They do nothing. There's an island. 1, 2, 3. Alright, they're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with this draw on the stack, I'm actually going to do this now, just so we don't draw our Blood Artist. Done. Alright, not bad. Turn 3 kill. And they scoop. We got there. Alright. Ooh, game 3 for the 5-0. Let's go. Opening 7. The card I'm thinking about is Go for the Throat. Like hitting their Dryad and hitting Omnath. But I feel like it's just like 1 for 1. They're already getting value out of those cards, so I think we're just going to keep our opener. I feel like we want a Thoughtseize in this opening hand. We'll see if we get one. We do not. This is kind of slow. They begin with 7. I think I have to mulligan this. I think this is just too slow. This is better. We'll keep this. And I think I'm going to dump a Hierarch. Yeah, we'll go with this. Still no Thoughtseize. I really, really wanted a Thoughtseize. Really, really. Alright, drawing our Hierarch. It's so unfortunate if they have a Wrenn 6, which I'm guessing they have. They kept their opening without hesitation, but I think we got to play out this Hierarch here. And the off chance we get to turn 2 without this thing dying, it's going to be important. Alright, didn't die. Whoa. And that was a really good draw. Okay. I'm going to play out my Mire. I'm confused, a little confused what they're doing. I'm guessing they have a Dryad in hand. We'll attack. And I guess if they have a Dryad, they can kill. Turn off auto yields. On turn. Oh, this feels like a binding. 1 mana binding. So they took 2 points of damage they didn't need to. I think they thought this was going to be 2 mana. Okay, they have 5 cards. So they can go like Dryad, extra land drop, and then on their next turn, land. Alright, cool. They didn't do that. They have 5 cards. Blood Artist is fine. And from here, I think we just get Yawg into play. The unfortunate thing is that if we can... One of the cards that we want is Might, kind of. Supreme Verdict, that kind of sucks. Alright, drew another Yawg, so that's good. A little bit of a back and forth, tit for tat action, as they say. Play out another Yawg and pass the turn. So, best draw from here. We only have 2 Young Wolves in the deck, but drawing into a Young Wolf would be good. Dryad is rough. Ugh. Alright, so that kills our Yawgmoth. I think we're losing it from here, unfortunately. They hit our Yawg for 6 here. Yeah, so we really need a Force of Vigor to pull ourselves out of this one. Force of Vigor 1 time. Not a Force of Vigor. Oof. Alright, well, we're still going to try. We're not going to give up just yet. But as it stands, they're representing 6 damage off that 1 land. So they can go 6 with that. If they have another fetch land, that's another 12 damage. So if they play a fetch, we just lose. Alright, yeah, and that's game. All right, we did not get there, unfortunately. That was a little rough. I don't know that we could have really done much differently, but that's, you know, it's how it goes. 4-1. I'm the consistent with the 4-1s. All right, so another league down, another successful foray into the modern format, I would say. Unfortunate we weren't able to get that 5-0 at the end, but I don't think there was too much we could have done. I think we needed to be on the play game 1 in that last matchup, and unfortunately we weren't, and they got the best of us. So we were not able to steal their cookies from the cookie jar. They stole ours. The 75 is really strong. I really like the configuration. Cards that I'm not sure about right now. The biggest one is Go for the Throat. It really hasn't done much for me. I don't even think I've cast the card up to this point. With this list, the previous list, or actually in my lifetime, I don't think I've ever cast this card. So I don't know about that one as of right now, but everything else I really liked. So, you know, this weekend, we're updating the sideboard guide, and I think it's going to look, the sideboard list is going to look like something similar to this. So keep your eyes out for that this weekend. The link will be in the description below. And as soon as it goes live, I will let everybody know in the posts section of this channel. So great list. I highly recommend you try it if you're running an event this weekend. This is something very similar to what I would run. So have confidence. This has been tested. This is a strong list. So go forth and win and prosper with Yawgmoth. Everybody, I'm checking out for the day. Thank you for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see everybody next time. There'll be a new video on Friday, so look out for that. And until then, you know the deal. Be well.